What did last year's Bostock case mean for LGBTQ employees in New York? The quick answer is not much different. I'm Nancy Schick of 30-Year Conflict Resolution. And this is in response to my last video where I was talking about managing LGBTQ employees. And the reason it didn't change much in New York is because New York State and New York City already had substantial protections for LGBTQ employees. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bostock case, maybe you missed it. We've had a little bit going on around the world for the past year, but last June, the US Supreme Court decided a case. It actually ended up being 3 cases consolidated into one, and they ultimately decided to extend sex discrimination protections to LGBTQ persons. So I'm going to give you my disclaimer again that although I'm a lawyer, I am not giving you legal advice in this particular video, but I am going to give you 3 things that you might want to take a look at with your employment attorney regarding your compliance in your small business. So the first thing you want to look at is your dress code. That was Amy Stevens, one of the plaintiffs that ended up in the Bostock case. That was part of what her issue was. Amy had been identifying as a man and chose to go on vacation and told her employer when she came back she was going to identify as a woman. And the employer said, men don't wear dresses here. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's effectively what they said. And obviously, you can't restrict men from wearing dresses if you allow women to wear dresses, right? There's no way to avoid that being a decision based on sex. So you want to look at your dress code for things like that. Second, you want to look for any kind of disciplinary language where you use conduct unbecoming of an employee. That was Gerald Bostock's case. He had joined a softball league that was primarily for LGBTQ players, and his employer found out about it and decided that was not conduct becoming of an employee for where he worked, and he was fired. Then third, you want to look for gender stereotypes in your company culture. This one's a lot harder to sniff out. It's the jokes, it's the teasing, all of the little things that occur based on gender and gender norms. That was part of what played out in Donald Zarda's portion of the claim. And it was the machismo culture of the skydiving business where he worked that was brought into under scrutiny. So again, ultimately the Supreme Court said, sex discrimination, the protections are extended to LGBTQ employees. So if you're confused about this, I do have an online course. I'll put a link to that course in the notes to the video. You can also reach out for a private discussion of your individual situation. And in the meantime, keep listening with your third ear for the hurts you can heal, and please don't add to them.